again, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for visiting once again. And so I'm today I'm going to do just a little look at a small kit that I bought, which is slightly unusual because it's not an aeroplane, so I thought I'd give you an opportunity to see it. And it comes about as a result of catching up with the excellent output of Sir James over at To Boldly Go's Model Works, I think is what he's called, or what he calls himself. And he's produced one of these, or is producing one of these Star Wars models of something or another. I think it was a Y-wing fighter or something. And I think as far as Star Wars is concerned, they have fighters for every letter of the alphabet now, it would appear, apart perhaps from I don't know, Q or something, but I don't know what a Q-wing fighter would look like anyway, but there you are. So I was prompted to go and have a look at what I believe they call Bandai, and see if there was one that I might like to do, because I thought, yeah, that might be quite fun for a short while. And so I came up with this, and it is, as you can see, a Star Wars ATST, or ATST, depending upon your perspectives. And so I thought I'd give you a quick look at that. And it will be quite a quick look, and then I'll do a shall we say, a quick build on it, and see how that gets along, and maybe put it in a diorama of some description and so on. But let's have a look and see what you get in the box anyway. So we'll put that up there like that, and we'll fetch the instructions out. Normally the instructions are underneath everything, but I've moved them to the top. The box was very nicely put together. It was taped on all four sides here, and you've got plenty to see here in terms of what looks like a nicely weathered part of this at the top of this model here, and it looks like there's quite a lot of detail in it too. And as you can see, it's made by Revell or Revel, depending on your perspectives. The instructions are on this sort of shiny paper, which is unusual, I suppose, for instruction books. But there we are. So let's take a look and then grab out some details as we go. And as you can see, the instructions are sort of fold out in this way. And you've got the usual things at the front. The book of words, whilst not as imposing as its larger Walker cousin, the ATST nonetheless served as a significant addition to the imperial side of battlefields in the galactic civil war. There we are. So I believe it made its appearance in the on the planet of the small Tribble-like monkey creatures, who I think successfully destroyed one with logs and so on, but had some assistance from various heroes of the Star Wars oeuvre. So anyway, let's move along. You've got a parts list and the usual sort of cautions and cautionary notes. If you're younger than a certain age, then don't make it, and don't run across broken bridges, and don't stick boxes down your trousers and run around with them, because if you fall over you might hurt yourself, that kind of thing, the sort of thing we mean. And the customer service numbers are down here. That's quite visible and so on. But anyway, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprues there, and some stickers and decals as well. So it looks to me like you could have stickers if you wanted, or you could use water slide decals. I may be forced to use water slide decals here, because I won't be able to make any masks out of these things, I would have to say. Anyway, let's move forward. Step 1, it appears to show the... Let's get my poker out and do a zero in, shall we? Step 1 appears to show, the diagram here. This is what we're going to build. So this is what appears to be the case. Is you get a section, and you can then add in some bits and pieces, and then continue to add these things in. So section 1 has several steps here, and then we have section 1, 2, where we do the same thing again. We're still on this, and it's only until we get to section 3 that we start to move to legs, and you do a left leg and a right leg, or a right leg and a left leg, depending upon your perspective. And we'll see whether these are hinged at all, because I suppose what one could do is one could make this ATST or ATST as a walking model, so you could have you could sort of have one leg on the ground and the other one sort of in the process of walking, which if you were doing a diorama would really rather nicely give the impression of movement, I think, and that would be quite a nice feature which I shall try and introduce onto this if I can, and maybe even doing it with the top of this head here, which I gather was articulated so that it could sort of move from side to side independently of the legs, perhaps with the head to one side and the thing walking, which might look quite good in a sort of 65 million years ago prehistoric kind of a way. So we'll go through that. The detail seems quite high for this, to be honest with you. You know, for what is quite a small kit, and the legs seem to fit into some quite small parts. So I should be interested to see how that goes. I'll do a build video of this as well, so that you can take a look for yourself. And so we move through those bits, right leg and then left leg. Then we move into the front of the body here and putting in the upper body work. There is a cockpit arrangement with two very trendy sitting on the toilet type figures here. I might be inclined to try and put those into my TSR2 actually, because that's 1/48 scale too. That'd be quite interesting, but doing a comparison between the size of each would be quite good. And then we get to putting this stuff together. I'm interested to just look at the figures and just see what they look like, because you know, it's worthwhile. And whilst lifting these out, what I see straight away is there's a sort of Wookiee monkey creature type of thing, Chewbacca or whatever his name was. We'll see about that. I know that you're all screaming at me, how dare you defile the name of Star Wars there, and I'm ever so sorry. I'm not very good at this kind of thing, but let's whip this lot out and just have a quick look. You've got a nice little grounding here, which might be quite a nice way of grounding the foot of one of the transport. You know, the transport, we'll call it a transport, armoured walking tank thing. So you ground one here and then cover this over with some putty or something, and then incorporate that into a diorama. But you've got the Wookiee fellow here. He's in two halves, and quite interestingly, what we have is brown sprues here joined to grey sprues here, and then also joined to shiny see-through red sprues here. That's quite interesting, and I'm damned if I can remember whether I've ever seen this before. I suspect I haven't, but it's an interesting feature, certainly. I'll say that much. This, by the way, is the A sprue, and yes, that's the right way round, so you can see the Wookiee fellow here. And I'm presuming that you might be able to make the Wookiee fellow with his hands resting on the roof of the whatnot here of the transport device. So there we are, so let's just put that away. We've got some of the legs here. That, I suspect, may be one of the feet, because I think they're that shape, aren't they? We'll fetch out some of the other whatnots here as well. Here's one of the sitting on the toilet fellows here. We'll just zero in, and I mean, I have to say that these figures give the whole thing in their shape and their rather stiff pose. They're rather like the ancient Greek kores, K-O-R-E-S, and which have no illusion of movement to them at all, and this is rather stiff and unlifelike in some sense. I probably won't incorporate them into any sort of a demonstration, or a dio, shall we say. So let's just move those to one side a second, and then we'll look at the rest here as we go through. So where were we? We were with this this whole cockpit cabinet arrangement. So what we can do is pull out these other sprues, and these are the decals. Okay, so there's what looks like some sort of a a mark there that you might be able to actually paint on and make yourself, and would be more realistic. And then there's symbols here and so on and so forth in both white and black. So I'll put that away up on top of my little ditty box there, and we'll just see if we can open this up, and this will give us an idea of the size of the unit, and because we can see the whole sort of cockpit cabinet type arrangement. And we have another sprue here, which is, it looks to me, not quite identical, but nearly so. Yeah, so, right, okay, so let's zero out a bit and we can show you this. So the D1 sprue and the D2 sprue are more or less identical here, apart from these added parts here, which look like laser blazers and all sorts of things like that. I don't know the correct technical terms. I've no doubt that you'll educate me on these. Ion cannons or super duper blaster cannons or something, I don't know. It'll be something like that, won't it? So you can see your two blokes sitting on the toilet at the same time. Yeah, okay, right, well, we'll move on from that joker, shall we? And what we can see here is which way up would that go, I wonder? We can see the cabinet, as it were. Oh, that would be the lid. So that's the top section here. So there's these two folding up sections where the chaps could climb out, presumably, and then there'll be underneath sections. But these are legs here. You know, they look quite nicely detailed, and you know, in as much as I understand the detail on these things, we've got a lot of imagination we can use here, actually. That would be the nice thing about this. You can colour it any colour you like and weather it any way you like, and that would be quite nice, I suspect. I think that would be a fun way of going about this. So you could even have the imaginary galactic army of something, and they could colour their AT-STs orange or something. Who knows? And actually, whilst looking at this, I noticed that, of course, we can see, I zero in, where that decal is suggested to go, and it's just there. So it looks like somebody's fired one of their super duper laser blasters at this thing, which has caused some damage, but not an excessive amount, perhaps. I don't know. We'll soon find out. So there we go. So that's this shows us what the size of this thing is, which I suppose is not insubstantial. And last bag we get to here, I'll just put that away over there a minute, out the way. The last bag here, as I drag the end off, contains some of the other sections of the interior here, the side interior parts, and again, there's detail in there that you can take a look at, and you could mark up. I don't know whether it's possible to see them open or shut. There's a control panel there with the front window. Let's show that so that you can actually see it, shall we? That would help, wouldn't it? I suspect. Yeah, I think it's rather nicely done. It's it's what you would expect of a model that costs, I don't know, £35 or so, something like that, and gives one some opportunities to, shall we say, use one's imagination, as it were. And the final sprue, which is they call C1, I look like some internal parts, and I don't know what that might be, some sort of ventilation ducts or something, and there are the seats for the toilet figures to sit on, and they appear to have their own, what would appear to me to be their own personal lavatories there. So that's why they're shaped as they are. Who knows? I'm guessing these are the entrance doors here, so they're shaped so that you can have them open or closed. Might be quite entertaining to have them open. It might be perhaps better to have them closed. I don't know. It depends, really. You may exercise your own choice, but I think in general this looks very nicely done. It's a nicely put together package of things, and These, of course, are the stickers, and so if you want to, you can stick these on. Presumably, if you haven't got access to water at home, you can stick these on. That might be a way of going about things, so we'll probably not use them. Obviously, finally, in the instructions, there are some colour guides. The interior finish shows here, and then the exterior finish. It would be quite good. Oh, so you can see that little picture there of the Wookiee creature with his hands on the top of the combing here, or whatever it might be, and those red things there that we looked at earlier on are for the pretend laser blazer firing things. I probably won't use them, to be honest with you. Now, in conclusion, you may perhaps wonder why I chose this particular thing, and I knew I had to do this if I was going to make a choice to do a Star Wars thing, a Star Wars model, and it had to be this because not very far from where I live on the A38, which is the road between, it's off the end of the M5, so it's between Exeter and Plymouth, is where it runs. About a third of the way down that road, as you drive down a hill, on the left hand side, pointing outwards this way out into the road, on a patch of land which is owned by a farmer, is one of these in what one might describe as life size. So it stands about, I don't know, perhaps 25 feet tall, and sits there gazing majestically over the road. And I think someone comes along and decorates it now and again, paints it to make it look reasonably smart, because otherwise it will go rusty. But quite where somebody obtained a life-sized version of one of these, I really don't know. But so far it hasn't attacked any passing members of the public and has remained quiescent the whole time. So I thought I'd make one of these, and we can then show you the process. It's probably going to be short and sweet, and there are not very many steps and not very much to do. So we'll see where we go with that. But look, that's a quick one with a quick sing out to the most excellent James over at To Boldly Go. And I hope that you enjoyed looking at that as a bit of a different thing. So that was the old Star Wars Atster by Bandai, which looks like it might be 2 words. I don't know, but there we are. So hope you like that, and I'll catch up with you another time. And thanks very much for visiting once again. And good luck with your modelling. Take care for now. Bye.